The wind wasn't usually worth mentioning in June, but that evening a bluster rose from the south and whipped away the dulcet, green-smelling afternoon. From their lonely side of the water, they could see 40 miles to the north, and the grass seemed to shimmer and groan as if waiting for the looming crazy mountains to sweep down and crush the plain. Bonnie lost a baseball cap, and he clung to his notes and maps and newspaper. It was impossible to cast a fly or keep the flame on the cook stove lit. They hunkered down to eat cheddar and hard salami and fruit, but by 9 o'clock they were relieved to get in their tent, if only to keep it from blowing into the reservoir like a high-tech tumbleweed. To her credit, Bonnie never complained or even asked why it was so important that they camp on the bleak plain. But it was the kind of wind that blew freight cars off the tracks every other year or so, and when Otto woke up a few hours later, having dreamt that someone was smothering him with a pillow, he discovered the wall of his expensive tent collapsing to within an inch of his face, ballooning out again as the gust eased. He thought this was funny and smiled in the dark, humming a song, and then going stiff when he realized he heard music over the wind in salvos of rain, that he was humming the song because he was hearing a song, tinny and mournful, a man wailing about his mind having a mind of its own. The line was funny, and he began to relax again before another surge of wind ebbed, and he heard the truck engine. He rolled over, unzipped the tent flap, and peered out toward the invisible mountains. A wet gust blasted through the tent, and Bonnie stirred. He hurriedly closed the tent again, fighting dread, hoping that the sound of the truck had been carried from the other side of the lake, crowded with campers and children and barking dogs. He knelt, still in the sleeping bag, and held his breath. But in the next lull, the engine was closer, and he could even hear a voice singing along. "Up! Up!" he yelled, staggering free of his sleeping bag, tripping over the startled dog, rummaging desperately in the dark through the too large, too crowded duffel. "What's going on? Why are you up?" "Ah, fuck," he said, shaking in fear and frustration. His fingers finally touched metal as he heard the truck engine rev. He ripped the gun free and reached for her arm. And that was that.